Welcome back to episode 208 of Tall Boy Radio. Now, as a bit of a disclaimer, we have to say Gaz is not with us tonight, so the other fellas might just get a word in edgewise. He's taking a trip to Turkey to get his teeth sorted out, so hopefully he'll be back with his nashes all in place next week. But Dave is here. Would you like to say hello, dude?
Even though, looking forward to tonight's episode. This might be the first time I've ever been on with a live animal.
He's not referring to me, folks. So I should first introduce our guests, and they can tell us about Trevor, I believe his name is.
Yeah.
So, guys, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourselves and what it is that you do?
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hiya.
I'm Jessica. This is my husband Wayne. Do you want me to take the lead?
Yeah.
We're a married couple. We are from London, just outside London, in a place called Hertfordshire. We are travel content creators, and for anyone who doesn't know what that is, we are your middle-aged 30-year-old influencers.
I hate that name.
He doesn't like that name.
It makes me cringe every
But
time I hear it.
we've been traveling for around 12 years, and we met 12 years ago doing something called summer camp in America, which is where teenagers with nothing to do find themselves, basically. It's like a backpacking sort of gap year. So we both went to America to work with people with disabilities.
It's like Camp America. It's Camp
Yeah,
America,
Camp
isn't it?
America. And we've been traveling ever since. And we started YouTube 3 years ago, and the rest is history, really.
We've been meaning to do YouTube for years because we did go on quite a lot of holidays before that.
Yeah.
But I always was a bit iffy about it because I thought people ain't going to want to watch me. What are people from my school going to say when they see me on the YouTube? You know, so we put it off and put it off and put it off, didn't we? And then I lost my job in 2020, was it?
Yeah, 2020.
Due to COVID. So
everyone did.
So I was out of work for 2 years, and I thought I need to do something. I've got to do something. And then we decided to do YouTube, didn't we? In the end, it was sort of, that's how it came about. Yeah,
we took the leap and decided to vlog day trips out with masks on, and it was literally walking to Tesco and back. And yeah, we've just developed it from there. And yeah, the rest is history, really. We love our family. That's what we call them. And we've got a really lovely audience. And obviously that's how we got introduced to you guys. So we're happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Oh, it's an absolute honor. And I have to say, actually, as you know, I didn't say at the start, but it's quite bizarre because you guys were part of my Sunday night throughout the summer. So last year,
thank you.
No, literally every Sunday night, myself and the wife who is watching it, I think in the other room, hopefully, she said how excited she is to have you guys on and watch this one, because we watched all of your videos on the Iona cruise when we were looking at booking the Norwegian cruise that we have booked for August of this year.
Oh, I'm so jealous. You can have such a lovely time.
Well, yeah, we can't wait. But I have to say though, Wayne, like in terms of when it comes to watching videos, especially about cruises, there's an awful lot of people who are making a lot of content about cruises. But your stuff stands out because you are very, very honest and you're very open, and you get the impression right off the bat that you guys, you know, you're just who you are. You don't portray characters. You are the people that you are.
Honest review, won't we? If it's something we don't like, or you know, we'll tell you
respectfully, obviously.
Yeah, you do get some YouTubers that will say, "Oh, everything's all good, everything's dandy," whether it is or not. Well, we're not like that, are we? If we've got something to say, good or bad, then we want to let the viewers at home, the truth. And obviously, something that might not be good for us, it might be brilliant for someone else. It just doesn't work for us, sort of thing.
We're complete opposites. I love the sun. I love the sand. I love the beach. Don't like the cold. Whereas Wayne thrived in Norway. But when we go to the Caribbean, he complains. I don't know why he goes, but he doesn't like sun cream, doesn't like sand, doesn't like the sea. He can't swim.
I'm probably the worst person to go on holiday with, to be honest.
We make the most of it. There's a lot of things that I can't do because I've got disabilities. So we try and, like, if he wants to watch the football for 2 hours in the cabin, more fool him. I'm happy to let him do that. I'll go and have some time up on the deck if the weather's nice. And then we just find we do often do our own things on cruises. So if there's things that you and your wife, sorry, I don't know her name, like and dislike different things, there's loads to do, especially on Iona. It's such a fantastic ship. But yeah, if you need any tips, please give us a message. We'll be happy to give you some. I'll be interfering in your trip. I'm like, have you done this today?
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. We need all the points we can get. So there's 4 of us going. There's myself, my wife, and we're taking our kids as well, who are
brilliant.
They'll be 7 and 5 by then. So I wanted to go to Venice. Okay, that was my suggestion for the holiday this year. I suggested Venice, but the wife was worried about them falling in the water, and then settled on a cruise.
What made you book Iona in the first place? Was it just a destination that you wanted to go to, Norway?
Yeah, it was, to be honest with you. I've never been to I've never been to Northern Europe, so I was quite keen to sort of get to that Scandinavian part of the world, something I've never seen, and I thought it was a good way of visiting a few spots and checking off a few little bits on the old itinerary. So you guys have done a number of cruises, haven't you? Which ones are the ones that really stand out in your mind?
I think this is where we'll differ. Do you want to go first?
I'd probably say our first one stands out.
Yeah.
Because, so my parents, it was their dream to always go on a cruise. When me and my brother got old enough and left house, it was their dream to go on a cruise. They didn't care where, just got on a cruise liner. Unfortunately, they passed away, so they never got to do that. So I always said I would like to go in there on the honour. I didn't know if I was going to enjoy it because I can't swim. So I thought I'll give it a go and see how how it goes. And our first one was on the Celebrity Equinox.
Yeah.
And
gosh, that was ages ago.
That was what?
2019, and we weren't even vlogging back then, but we absolutely loved it.
And
didn't
it gave me the taste of cruise life. And now I'll probably say cruising is probably our favourite vacation or holiday.
I'd say it's probably, we've been lucky enough to, I think we're going on our 8th cruise in April. And then we've got a press trip, kind of work trip booked for June for my birthday, but we've just booked our 10th wedding anniversary cruise for our 10th cruise in October. So that's really exciting. And that's with P&O as well. That's on their newest ship, Arvia. So that's the longest cruise we'll ever have done.
That's Iona's sister ship, isn't it? I believe.
So, but my favorite would probably be Britannia, which is probably, I think, our first P&O cruise. There's just something really endearing about it. It's a smaller ship.
It's more intimate.
It's more intimate, but there was a lot to do. I find bigger ships are amazing, but I get lost so easily, and I'm always trying to find which way is like the front and which is the back, and I always get lost so easily. But
I mean, when you first started saying that, I was trying to find the front and the back of the ship. Apologies, but my first thought was, if you're standing on a ship, you can just look which way you're heading is generally the front. But I guess you mean when you're inside, because there's like massive hotels with your bearings and
floating city, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely huge. We went on a ship with Royal Caribbean, and it had a massive inner. They called it the Central Park, and it was like an inner. I can't describe what it was like, but it had rooms on the inside showing to the middle of the ship, and then it had the exterior looking onto the outside of the ship. And they've just introduced their biggest ship, Icon of the Seas, and that is like triple the size of the ship that we've been on. I think Iona used to be like 4th biggest in the world. Now it's moved back even further. Wow. But if you get the chance to check out Icon of the Seas, Google it. It is huge, absolutely.
It's on our to-do list, isn't it? Maybe not
in the next couple of years.
Take a lot of saving that.
They are expensive. Have you ever done a cruise, Dave?
No, I haven't, and I have spoken to the wife and kids about it, and it's kind of, I think we only have one family holiday a year, and I think it's we probably see it as a bit of a risk. If we had the time or the money to go on like a second or a third holiday, even if it was 3-4 days, I think we might try it. But when we're just currently having just one holiday a year, it's like, if that's the family holiday, what if any one of us doesn't like it? So it's kind of, and loads of people tell us, we've got some good friends that do loads of cruises, and they tell us they're really great, they're amazing, and particularly the ones where you're stopping off and seeing lots of different things. I think our holidays, normally we're not beach holiday people. Wayne, I was going to call you Jessica then. Wayne. We're not beach holiday people, so we tend to drive to Europe quite a lot, and then we drive every day. We're driving out to sea and do different stuff. And I think psychologically, if that's what we do, and we know we all enjoy doing that, and then you say, well, let's go and get on a ship, even if it's a massive ship, it just feels like the chance of all four of us really liking that is a bit of a big gamble for me. Holiday.
It's not for everyone. My parents finally bit the bullet and they went on Iona, and my stepdad wants to go back on it tomorrow, whereas my mum wouldn't ever set foot on it again. And that's not just because she's seasick, but whereas I do suffer with some motion sickness, I cope with it quite well. But I think it's just to everyone's perspective and what they enjoy.
I think cruising gets a bad rep, doesn't it? Because everyone that's never been on a cruise before associates cruising with like the elder generation. And honestly, I thought that as well when I first went on my first cruise. I thought we're going to be the youngest there. And I think our first cruise, we wasn't, was we?
No.
There's a lot of youngsters there. And I think as the years go on, I think the cruise lines are trying to, entice the younger generation on, aren't they?
Yeah. What I love more about cruising is the diversity of people. We've been lucky enough to meet people from all over the world. And I think if you get the chance to just converse with the staff, speak to your waiters, speak to your room service attendants, because you're going to meet people from all over the world, and these people are on these ships for 9 months at a time. So I think that's the nicest thing. We get to meet people that we wouldn't necessarily meet. We've got a lot of followers from P&O Cruises of staff that work on board, and whenever we get to see them again, it's like seeing family, because they often swap ships and you're like, oh, I thought you were on, and you forget that they are still working. We're on vacation, but this is their lifetime career that they've worked so hard for. But yeah, you can have an amazing time anyway. And have a think about it, David, and see what you think. And if not, get a camper van like he wants to do. It's another way to travel with the kids. A camper van maybe around France or something.
Oh, that's a bit small.
Maybe not.
we have when we go and we stay in France or Germany, we tend to rent somewhere, and it's away from major tourist areas, and we kind of number one is at least 2 bathrooms, because we have a 16-year-old daughter,
fair enough,
and a 15-year-old lad, but he's not a problem, but a 16-year-old daughter, so we've got to have 2 bathrooms. So the idea of being in a camper van, terrifying. And me and Adam are that older generation you were talking about, by the way.
Steady on now.
Oh no, we mean like 70 plus.
60 plus.
The majority of our demographic would probably be over 50. And then over. No, I'm trying to be careful the way I word this.
Too late. We're both over 50. You're too late.
Our 21 to say 28-year-old viewers classes as really old. So we obviously, age is just a number, and we massively respect our audience who are over a certain age demographic, because they've made our channel is what it is today. So we've got a lot to thank them for. And once you've had a glass of wine or 2 with them, they become your best friends. We've got thousands of grandparents that we love, and they watch our channel on a monthly basis. So we're very pleased for that demographic anyway. So
yeah, it is a fantastic channel. Like you say, it's not just cruises. You visit all around the world. Like I say, I watched some of your UK-based videos the other day when I was working from home. Just put it on in the background.
Sorry.
Well, no, it's interesting because, we've had a guy on here before as well, a guy called Lee Stroud. I don't know if you've ever seen any of his videos. Brit Travels, I think he calls himself. And yeah, so he does a lot of the UK stuff. So he'll visit Legoland, Windsor Castle, at Centre Parks. He's done a few places like that. But then obviously, he focuses a lot of his time at Disney. And obviously I've seen that you've been to Disney not so long ago yourself. Was it Orlando that you went to?
Yeah. we just got back from Orlando. What
4 or 5 days ago?
4 or 5 days ago, yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I'm back to work and back to reality now. So
yeah, that was a very spontaneous trip. We were lucky enough to work with the local tourism board, Visit Orlando, and the itinerary was fantastic. And it's not something that we're used to. It's only been, I'd say, the last 6 months that we've had this most amazing opportunity where Wayne works in an airport aviation setting, and I've now slowly starting to turn this into my full-time job, along with a degree that I'm doing. But we're so grateful for the opportunities that we get, and we always try to remember where we came from. Because we wouldn't have this journey if it wasn't for the views and the feedback that we get. And the views and feedback that we do get are massively helping the tourism boards, and they do listen to what our viewers have to say. So we always bear in mind wherever we go that it's a right fit. I'm not going to go and stay in a 5-star posh luxurious villa on an island in the middle of nowhere if it's not a right fit. So we still try and do the trips
budget,
that we want to do.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, we budget everything, absolutely everything. But we try and bring as much authenticity to the channel as possible, even if we are gifted the experiences. And by gifted, I mean they will kindly provide the tickets and we will provide the content. But we try and always provide a discount code or a giveaway or something like that, just to give back as much as we can, really. But it does take a lot of work, and the trips do have to be paid for. So I have to try and get the work somewhere. But yeah, we're very grateful for this new journey that we've got this year. And thanks
to see where we come from. Like I said, because when we decided to do a YouTube channel, we had no footage of nothing. We can't be called Holiday of the Evers, but we had no holidays.
It was all old BlackBerry footage.
So what we had to do was take little snippets from all the holidays that we've been on and try and make them into a video.
So bad.
But it ended up being like a PowerPoint presentation. So we thought, well, what can we do? So that's when the day trips started going to like Thorpe Park and
Southend-on-Sea.
Quite a lot of zoos and stuff like that. We had to put something out there, and it was just
test the waters.
Yeah, just to see what people and how we could do it, because it is hard walking around in public with a camera. It is hard. You do get a lot of funny looks. You do get a lot of like people. How do I say it? So if like I film a lot of buffets, I noticed like when we watch YouTube videos of certain hotels or ships, I want to see what's on the menu. And some, not all of them, but some YouTubers, they don't do that. They just tell you, oh, there are sausages and beef. But I like to show what's on there just so you can. And sometimes you get people in the background going, oh, can you move out of the way, please? Stop filming the breakfast. So it is awkward, isn't it, walking around in public with a camera. It does feel a bit daunting. So we done a few test trips to the seaside, to the zoo, just to see how we felt with a camera in our hand. And after a while, you sort of forget about the people behind you, don't you? Now?
Yeah, some guy was going to throw his breakfast at him. You can hear in the background, and the Americans love their breakfast, and you can hear him going,
some dude's filming the milk.
Why are you standing there? Why are you not getting your breakfast? This guy's filming the milk and he won't move. I don't understand what's going on. I was like, just move, you can film it later.
But when we was allowed to go away properly and the restrictions were let off, that's when we could, first actually do our first sort of holiday vlog, wasn't it?
And we should do a blooper video. I think it'd be quite funny.
Yeah.
Quite a bit inappropriate as well, probably, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to do that. You need to do that. That must be a dream come true, though. When you started off doing this channel, like you say, where you had really no idea how you were going to do it, you were self-conscious about putting yourself out there, and I get that. I do get that. I get it myself. You know what I mean? Sometimes doing the podcast, but now you must be living the dream, starting to get these trips, working with the different tourist boards.
Yeah.
This is realistically could become a full-time career for you. You can't have dreamt that when you first started this, can you?
I didn't think it will be where we are today, and like we said, we've got not a huge following,
but they're a loyal following.
But they're a loyal following, and we wouldn't be where we are today without the views. These brands and tourist boards and stuff like that, they wouldn't want to work with us if we didn't get the views in. So we have to say thank you to them for sticking with us, don't they? Because they weren't, the vlogs weren't great at the beginning. They weren't, but obviously as you get more accustomed to using the camera, and Jess does all the editing, I stay out of that because I can't get my head around it all. So
he tried though when I was in hospital for about 9 weeks. He really did try, and I think he did a really good job. But I'm using Adobe Premiere Pro now, and I love it. I remember when I first started, I use YouTube for absolutely everything. I use it to cook. I use it how to plait my hair, do makeup. I use it for everything. And then I started to edit using Adobe Premiere Pro. And then from that came the blog, and then there was the Instagram, and we've been opened up into this amazing world of the travel industry. And with Wayne having a full-time job and working nearly 50 hours a week, I asked his permission. Obviously, I don't need to, but I asked if I could take this to the next level. And I've changed my degree to creative writing for next year, and it's looking more likely. Last night I got classed as a journalist, and I'm rubbing shoulders with some amazing, influential people. And I'm very, very lucky because I'm going to be branching out into a lot more solo travel to promote disability access. YouTube will tend to be us together, but anything to do with like the blog and our Instagram, I will be going on a lot more group trips this year. So sadly, you're going to see a lot more of my face, but you still will see a lot of Wayne's, but with like annual leave and things like that. Like we're booked up completely this year. We cannot believe how lucky we are.
All my annual leave is
gone.
Taken. But with the question you asked about, could I do this as sport? I don't think I could. One, at the moment, it's not reliable. I couldn't, there's no way I could leave my job at this moment in time because the bills still need to be paid. But maybe in a few years, maybe if we're still sitting here, 10 years later. And
I'd like to think so.
And, maybe, but all I see is we're a married couple, we go on holiday, I film, I give her the content, and then she works her magic, and then I go to work then, and that's her project. So,
but I couldn't do it if it wasn't for Wayne. I have what's called like a arthritis tremor. So if it was me, you'd think you're on like a roller coaster or in a new earthquake film because I just shake really bad. So, but do you know any YouTubers who have started out that you've had on your channel or anything like that, or are we the first YouTuber?
No, you said earlier, didn't
you? Oh, you did, didn't you? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we've had a few people on, and this is what we love, to be honest. I love to hear the journey where we join them on that journey is always a little bit different. We were very fortunate last year that we had a couple of film companies reach out to us and ask us, would we do some media training with some of their actors as well and have them on the podcast? And obviously, we jumped at that opportunity. We've had the guys on from Outcast Media Group in Oklahoma with some friends of ours. And they create content, they do video, they have a podcast, and they tie it all in together, do a lot of photography. So yeah, it is fun. And obviously, I'm familiar with the Adobe program there that they talk about as well. But how long does it take then to put your videos together?
From start to finish, obviously, you only really see like on average a video could be like sometimes an hour, it could be 45 minutes. There's no rhyme or reason to how long. Like our video that goes up tomorrow is 13 minutes. I had a bit of a dip with my health in late 2023, so we've had to strip back to just 2 videos a week, but we need to start getting back into that rhythm. But I'm finding that I need to prioritize university as much, so the video content could be a lot better, but it can take me anywhere from 2 to 5 hours to do one 45 minute video. But I am in the middle of doing a revamp with like logos and graphics and things, so if you've got any hints and tips, that would be great, because I might have to change maybe to a different software. I've always been a Microsoft, but always use Apple phones and watches and things like that. But if you or David have got any tips for any like editing softwares to create graphics or anything, I've done my own website, so I'm proud of that.
In the early days when I did try and help Jess edit, we had 2 different opinions and we clashed.
We were just killing each other.
So when you do it on your own, it takes 3 or 4 hours. If I help, it takes 8 or 9 hours. So I just leave it now. I just let her get on with it, and that I've done my bit. I filmed I filmed the footage. It's Jess's now. I can go to work, and that's it.
He can't even watch it anymore because I got to a point, because I have a condition that affects my brain. On occasion, we've had subscribers message me and say, "Can I just ask why that video is dated August 2022 when it's January 2023?" I'm like, oh no, not again. And I'm thinking of something else and I'm putting the wrong date in. And I thought, if I'm working with brands and tourism boards, I need to get my together because it needs to be a lot more cohesive. So that's why I've said I'm going to take a step back from the YouTube when it comes to doing like solo and blogging, but then we're still going to always have YouTube videos up, whether it's 2 times a week or 3 times a week. But yeah, in a nutshell, it can take a long time.
We did get a few comments going, it's not professional, but we're
not professional.
We're not professional. We're just a husband and wife who go on holiday and show you, our trip. It's not, but I do think, though, on the negative side of it, people do think we're there to show off, don't they?
Yeah.
We do get a lot of comments, saying we're in a recession, or we just come out of COVID, I've lost my job, and there's you on your 4th cruise in 2 years. And we're not
paying for these trips.
We're not here to show off,
No,
it's not look at me. I'm in Orlando for the 3rd time this year. It's nothing to do with that. It's just we're very fortunate of how this has happened, isn't it?
Yeah, we just eat beans on toast all week, really, and sit and watch Coronation Street. We don't have a literally, this is the best it gets.
I think if you put yourself out there online, you've got to be tough enough to take some criticism, which I'm sure if you're online, I'm sure you've had some criticism.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's never ending.
Sadly, there's always two sides to a coin and you're always going to get it. But we used to think, oh my God, this is awful. But I always think any engagement is good engagement.
I mean, so pretty much, I'd say 99% of it is all good. But you always get that keyboard warrior now and again that just, is looking for some sort of argument or for us to sort of retaliate. But we just go, thank you for your comment. And that's
much appreciated.
Much appreciated. Yeah.
Kill them with kindness. That's what my parents say.
If they had half a brain, they would realize that if you just wanted to show off, you'd just be posting on Facebook. You wouldn't be spending time and effort editing and creating the videos and putting them on a website and promoting it and everything else, because it's not like you just you go on a holiday wearing some kind of Google glasses and then you just get back to your room and throw it on the side, it automatically magically.
That would be so much easier, wouldn't it?
Oh my God. If anyone actually could see our Instagram, like if they looked close enough, they will see the pizza that I've got or the wine that's down my top. I'm lucky to know quite amazing travel curators who are absolutely fantastic and their work is picture perfect, but that's just not.
Yeah, but they're professionals, aren't they? They're full-time.
Some of them aren't professionals. Some of them have full-time jobs and they're just brilliant at what they do, but it's just not. I can't do all that picture perfect.
So at the end of the day, we're just husband and wife that go on holiday. We're not professionals. This is not my full-time profession.
I'd like it to be mine.
Yeah, you would like it to be yours. And obviously that's why you've got taken the lead of this. But so if anyone does want to comment and say, this is not good enough, or it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect because we're not, professionals. We've only been doing this for a couple of years, haven't we?
But we're always happy to give constructive feedback as well. If they're not happy with something, someone commented today about a chip shop that we'd eaten at, and they said, "Oh, the food's awful." And I honestly can't remember unless it's on camera or I've noted it down. I'm actually going to start noting down the places that we eat because I'm finding that's a really good way to create the blog content, because I'm writing the blogs. I'm like, oops, I didn't take a photo of that price list. I didn't write that down. So I'm going to have to start using the journals that these tourism boards hand out as free gifts, because I need to start making notes, because otherwise I'm not going to have anything to write. Oh, I'm like the worst content creator ever, but we're getting there. We're learning, aren't we?
Like I said, we're not professional at the end of the day, are we? You're going to make mistakes. If we've both been training and all been at uni studying all this, and we had all the proper gear, like the camera equipment, microphones,
we'd be interviewing you guys.
we expect to be professional, but we're not, are we? We've got no microphones.
We need to though.
It's just us on holiday with a camera. That's all it is at the end of the day, isn't it?
We do need a microphone though, because on the cruises, if you've watched, the wind noise is awful. So if you've got any tips or tricks about wind mufflers or microphones, then please let me know, because we don't have a clue.
I mean, to be fair, I've seen you've got the basically looks like a hamster on the edge of you. Those are about the best you're going to get. I think in Norway it was just very windy.
Yeah, it is. It is very windy, but it's a beautiful place to visit, and you'll have a fantastic trip.
Absolutely. I tell you, another place that you visited, and I was very, very envious of it when I saw, is Pittsburgh. So, as we discussed at the start, so obviously, without bickering about the AFC North and who's going to win the Super Bowl and what have you. So, you guys, obviously, you're a Baltimore Ravens. And listen, that's my pick. I'll be honest with you, that's my pick for a Super Bowl win. I fancy the Ravens to win it this year, and that sticks in the back of my throat. I'm not going to lie.
I should have worn my hat.
So yeah, I've never visited Pittsburgh, but it is absolutely on my to-do list. Gaz, who's normally on the podcast, obviously he's had his teeth fixed. He's a big Chicago Bears fan. So you guys have been to Chicago as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we visited Chicago. I think it was around it was a year after we got married. We visited in 2015 together.
It was also in 2012.
When we first met.
When we first met, so after we finished summer camp, and we first met, we decided to go traveling for 3 weeks, didn't we? And I think Chicago. Brilliant. I can't remember where it was, either the beginning or the middle or the end, but somewhere. We went to Chicago, and that was the first time for both of us that went.
It's a 22-hour bus journey from. Where were we? From Baltimore all the way to Chicago.
But we went through Pittsburgh, but it was only a flying visit. So we had to stop over in Pittsburgh at the Greyhound terminal, and we had to a 3-hour layover. So we didn't really have much time to go out. So we always said that it looked nice from the coach.
A city of bridges.
So we'd like to go back at some point, and then it happened last year, didn't it?
Yeah, we didn't plan to go there. We were eventually meant to go to Boston on a press trip, and just things didn't happen. And we were lucky enough to work with the Discover Philadelphia Tourism Board, and we had like 5 days where we had nothing to do. So we love traveling on like National Express or Megabus in the UK, but over in America they have fantastic train systems with Amtrak. And I think the train was about 7 hours to get there, but it went through the most amazing views. We went on, I think it's called the Horseshoe Track, and if you ever get the chance to do it, it's one of the most breathtaking train journeys you could ever take in America, in my opinion. The only train journey I've took that far, but it took 7 hours to get there. The people were so friendly, and then when we got there, it didn't disappoint. It was absolutely fantastic. We had the privilege of going to a baseball game, and it was all Star Wars themed. They had the characters there. It was really cool. And we just explored the city. The people were very nice. We went to the Heinz Museum, which was an experience. That was really fun.
Got a bit of the wrong end of the stick with that, didn't we? Yeah. We thought everything there was going to be Heinz themed and related.
It wasn't.
And there's like 5 floors of this museum, and only like the top floor had anything to do with Heinz. The rest of it was just other artifacts.
But it had a Steelers museum. It was dedicated to the Steelers, and we got to see all of the memorabilia from the last however long they've been a team for. So if you get the chance to go, you need to visit the Heinz Museum and the Sports Museum in there. It was absolutely fantastic. The memorabilia was amazing. So you'd love that
sandwich shop that we went to. Everyone told us we had to go to a sandwich shop. They'd done the best sandwiches.
Primanti's sandwiches. They do really good sandwiches. So if you get the chance to go there, big up to Primanti's. They were massive sandwiches. Not as good as
Philly doorstep bread and everything.
Not as good as a Philly cheesesteak, but it was good. Have you ever been to Pittsburgh, David?
No, I've been to Chicago because my brother lives in Antioch in Illinois, just south of Chicago. Well, so just south by American standards of Chicago, so probably about 3,000 miles or something. But that and both Disney's either side and Las Vegas, and on our honeymoon we did a drive all through Canada. Well, 2.5 weeks through Canada, so not that travelled in the Americas, but just those places.
A lot of places we've never been to. I'll have to ask you about that Canada trip. That's been a dream of ours to do that. So I'll definitely.
We've only touched the iceberg of Canada, haven't we?
Ontario, Niagara Falls. That's it.
That's literally just over the bridge and then back again.
But it was a good trip. It was a really good trip.
Yeah, we went to. I think that's where we started. Toronto. Is that where Niagara Falls is? My geography's rubbish.
Ontario is where Niagara Falls is. Yeah, you've got Buffalo on the New York side and Ontario on the Canadian side. But we found they were some of the kindest people. We were a little bit strapped for cash as 22 and 24-year-olds with no experience of travel. And when we got there, we explained that our bus had been cancelled because of a detour. We had no money, and our local hotel owner gave us the fridge from his staff room, the toaster, microwave, vouchers for the local supermarket, and we're still in touch with the receptionist 12 years later. She breeds golden retriever dogs for charity, so she's the most amazing person now as she was then. And we went to the local bus station to collect our tickets, and the bus driver and a whole bus of passengers waited for 20 minutes while we got our tickets. It was just the most unbelievable kindness we've ever experienced, and every single time I've met a Canadian ever since, they always blow my mind how kind they are as a country and natives. They're such nice people. I can't say that now, I haven't been in 12 years, but I've heard nothing but nice things about
our first
Canadians.
Experience was a good experience.
Yeah, it was a good experience.
Yeah, fair play. I've been to Toronto in Canada, but only briefly. Yeah, so I think I ended up having a day there extra because we were flying into New York, but we were going in via Toronto. And the idea was we literally just changed planes, but there was a really, really bad storm. So I got a bonus day in Toronto, which I have to say is a really, really lovely city. And the weather was absolutely phenomenal. I went in August and it was stinking out. It was absolutely fantastic. So just out of interest, so you mentioned Canada there as one of the places that you'd love to visit. What would be one of your dream destinations?
You go first, because
I would say Australia.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think I would need a good month to do that. You know, it's one, obviously you couldn't just do that in a week or two. Okay. There'd be, it's so vast. Yeah, I'd say Australia. I don't know why. It's just, it seems a big, a big place. When we watch documentaries on TV about it and that, it just seems a place that scary. It does scare me a bit because everything wants to bite you or eat you, doesn't it? Or, yeah. But yeah, it just looks really nice. And I did have an ex-work colleague that left my old job to move over to Australia. And when I see his, Facebook
makes
and stuff,
jealous, doesn't it?
And see him drinking beers on the beach and stuff like that, I'll be at the Gold Coast or something. I'm like, I could do with some of that, But
what was that documentary we watched a couple of weeks ago? And the guy's got like bald head but long grey hair.
Bill Bailey.
Yeah,
that was Australia.
Yeah, we watched a program recently with Bill Bailey, and he did. I think it was the North South. Never reached Shredded Wheat. I'm trying to remember. I'm not good with directions. The Western Coast.
West Coast. Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I should know this from being a Northwestern girl. But yeah, he did the whole of the West Coast, and it was just fantastic. Everyone seems to go to like Melbourne or Sydney or Byron Bay, all those gorgeous places, but that appealed to me a lot more. They had like their own version of like the Wild West. It was just really crazy the way they were able to show similarities with other parts of the world in just one country. So I'd like to go, but as long as nothing eats me or tries to kill me, like Wayne said. And for me, it's probably the Polynesian Islands. And I know that's so random, but I've always wanted to visit like Tahiti, Vanuatu. Just the people seem really, really cool. And I'm a big fan of Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and I'd love to visit Hawaii, all those kinds of places. But I'd like to do it on a cruise so I can get a little taster for each place. And I'm a water baby, so any chance I can swim with wildlife or go snorkeling, I'd love to do that. I can't go scuba diving just because of my health, but I'd love to snorkel with like otters or like big stingrays or something like that. Wayne will be filming it from the ship with the life jacket on, holding on to the side.
That'd be my worst nightmare, swimming.
We're so opposite, it's untrue. Yeah. But we do agree on sport. I'd love to go to a country where they are doing like a major sporting contest. We're lucky enough to go to Germany in June, but we've probably timed it wrong. What's the sport that's going to be
Euros.
On? The Euros are going to be on in Germany in June, and we're going to be there right smack bang in the middle of it. But I'm used to the World Cup.
That was unintended, wasn't it? Yeah. We didn't plan it to be that. It's just the way it's happened.
Yeah, I'm used to the World Cup starting on my birthday every 4 years. So I'm used to it now.
This time now,
but this is the Euros, and I'll be there for my birthday as well. So that'll be nice. Amazing. But maybe some sort of like sporting trip. Oh, maybe.
I do want to go and see the Northern Lights. I like to visit
that's the big one.
Iceland or Sweden or anywhere, Scandinavia, where you can see the Northern Lights. We went in Norway, and there was rumours on our cruise that on a clear night you might be able to see some of it, but every night we went up there, couldn't see nothing. So I would like to go there one year when it's guaranteed to to see it and stay maybe in an igloo thing, like a tent or whatever they've got, and just see it. I think it'd be.
What about brilliant. You guys? What is your dream destinations?
Go on, Dave.
God. I get asked these kind of questions, and Adam knows full well. Adam knows full well that I won't be able to come up with an answer because I have to think and then I have to try and remember. I don't know. See, I'm useless at coming up with things on the.
We'll come back to you then. What about you, Adam?
Do you want me? Shall I go?
Yeah, go on.
I took part of my dream trip last year, really. So growing up, I like my dad never know whose dad was. He was an American soldier who's based over here during the war, and I tracked down my American family. We got in touch that way, and they had no idea that we existed. And then in the summer of last year, me, my wife, and my kids, we all went and stayed in San Antonio in Texas with my cousin from that side of the family. So that was phenomenal. So one thing I would love to do, my dream trip. So my family's originally from Oklahoma. So my great-grandmother, Rosa, is from McAlester in Oklahoma. Oh, wow. And then my great-grandfather is from Texas, North Texas. So I'd love to visit those places. And then my granddad, when he moved back to the States from England, he lived in a place called Nettleton in Mississippi, which is the next town over from Tupelo, where Elvis is from.
Yeah.
So that would be my dream to go. So he's like, my cousin still owns. He's passed on obviously now, and his son Walter has passed on, but Bo is still. He still owns the property. I'd love to go and visit that. That would be one of my dream trips, just to take a car out there. Visit Oklahoma. I gather in McAlester there's not a lot there other than a prison, but I'd love to visit the place itself. But yeah, Nettleton, I'd love to. Go on, Dave. I've given you a bit of time to have a think. Now, were you thinking Blackpool or?
I was trying to think, and it's probably less of a destination, but what you do. I when I was younger, I went talking about swimming with animals. Went swimming with dolphins and riding camels in. This was in Israel, so it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's not great to go there now.
Maybe in the future, maybe.
But to do that kind of trip with the family, I'm very simple in what I like. And if we're just out in the countryside, or you've just got the scenery out of towns and cities, and you're just walking around enjoying nature and that kind of thing, it doesn't really matter where. It's more about that sort of peace and quiet and that relaxing and just time with people that you want to be with. There's things, like Ayers Rock and Niagara Falls I've been to, but there's those kind of places, and you see them on TV, and whether it be on Attenborough, a nature program, or a holiday program, or you see what's that travel program with the chef and the food critic.
Gino.
Monique, and is it something?
Yeah.
Gino, Fred, and
Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon.
No.
You're talking about the bald guy with the glasses.
No. He's a younger guy. I've got a terrible memory as well. It's that chef Monique who was on MasterChef. The woman, short blonde hair, and then it's the food critic. The wife is shouting Monique. What's the program called?
We should know this.
I know it's about the most expensive hotels in the world.
We know what you mean.
We have watched a few of those.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a really good company, there's one called Intrepid Travel, and they do a lot of trips where, whether it's just you and your wife, or you're looking for more outdoorsy places to visit that are off the beaten track, they come up with really good itineraries. Sometimes it is with groups of other people. But they do it depending on age, whether you're single or whether you're in a couple or with families, but definitely check them out. I've never traveled with them yet, but I'd like to, but I know a lot of people who have, and they go to some amazing places like the landscapes of Pakistan, and they go to right up into the Arctic. They go to some of the most amazing places, but it sounds like you love more of an outdoorsy, away from the city, the complete opposite of what I like, but it's what I'd like to do in the future. I have to make sure that I can actually walk there. I don't have to hike up a mountain, but
we do like going for walks, don't we?
Yeah. Walks, but not hiking up a mountain.
No, yeah, there's a difference.
Sky lift, or I'd love to go skiing. I'm meant to be going to Georgia at the end of this month, but it's a skiing trip, and I don't think my travel insurance would cover it if I had an accident. But yeah, Intrepid Travel are a really good website to check out. So if you're looking for more organised trips that are away from the usual touristy, bustling areas, I think it'll be right up your street anyway. If you're
apart from the organised bit, I mean, the wife, Catherine,
fair enough.
she does all that, and the last thing we actually want is going around in groups of people. I mean, quite often when we go to visit places, whether be chateaus or castles or whatever, if it's a guided tour, we're quite often less likely to do it. I mean, when we're in France, my French is okay, but in a guided tour, unless they're speaking deliberately to English people slowly, it's quite hard to follow anyway. But generally speaking, we prefer just to wander around at our own pace. But if there's any organising, Catherine's she's awesome doing that stuff, so she wouldn't let.
It might be good for itineraries, if for a bit of inspiration, but if not, just scrap that idea.
I got a question. Oh, well, I was going to ask you, do you guys go on podcasts like this often?
I've done two. One with a charity talking about the rare autoimmune disease I suffer with. I've spoken on 3 BBC Counties Radio, which is our local radio station for Bedfordshire, Buckinghamshire, and Hertfordshire, and then I've been on a few friends' ones. But this is your first, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we were saying this earlier. I think this is my first ever podcast.
We're probably doing it all wrong. I know we've probably took up a lot of your time with chatting, so I do apologise about that.
No, well, I was going to say
questions.
I was going to say that Adam made a joke earlier about Gaz not being on here, so people get a word in edge. God, if he'd have been on as well, me and Adam would have just packed up and gone home.
That's it, yeah.
That's a good. No,
So
don't apologise.
sorry.
That's a good thing, because I know that Adam's had some guests in the past where it's been a bit like pulling teeth. Not many, but the odd one, and that's not necessarily, they're just not used to it. But you guys just come across.
Yeah, it's all new to me.
You do get a word, and he doesn't talk at all.
We are quite like,
I don't shut up.
You're the outgoing one and the talking one, and I'm normally like the shy, reserved person that just like to fade into the background, don't I normally?
Yeah, Wayne said my ideal job would be one of those game shows at 3 o'clock in the morning where you've got the spinning roulette wheel and you just talk at the camera.
You'd be ideal at that. You would. Yeah.
I think it's nervous as well because I've never met you guys before, but this has been a privilege. But yeah, you should have one of those like red light systems where you put like a thumb up to say talk, thumb down to stop talking.
We need to get one of those for Gaz.
Yeah. I need to get one from you.
Yeah. Just practice it now, Wayne. See if it works, Jessica.
Yeah.
Don't cause trouble, Dave. Don't cause trouble. Yeah. So I have a question for you then. So you guys obviously have a very good relationship with the people who watch your videos. You interact with them and you read their feedback, and obviously you then pass it on to the various tourist boards. Do you ever get requests of places that they want you to visit?
Cruise lines we do, like cruise lines we should go on.
So we see a lot of other people say like, I'm going here this week, we're going to Tenerife, we're going to Mallorca, or we're going to France. Any recommendations where we should check out? We've never done that yet, have we? We've never said, look, we're going to Pittsburgh or we're going to Chicago. Any recommendations of where we should go? We normally like to go. We do a little bit of research on YouTube ourselves to see, what it's like, but we don't normally do anything like that, do we?
I think what you were saying was, do people ever say we should? This place?
We get like not destinations, but we like might someone go, I loved your vlog. You should check out the restaurant so and so, or you should check out the beach so and so. I don't think anyone said,
it's more attractions. I think that we get suggestions for. So on our Instagram bio, which is a really good place on your Instagram to get all the information you need, like your email, and we always put where our next trip is. We don't say when, just for a bit of security for us, and we don't say what hotels we're in, but we'll always do like live stories on our Instagram. So if a YouTube video doesn't go up for another month, you can always see what we're up to. And we're always happy for people to know where we are. I love it when people come up and say hi. We've made a lot of amazing friends from our subscribers who we send Christmas cards to every year. We get sent nice things from them, and we like to return the favor. But it always seems to be like, I think you should eat in this restaurant. Yeah. We think you should go to there. And you know what? It never, ever, ever disappoints. We always love to
try, don't we? But the thing is, though, we've both got logins to Instagram. We both got a login each to our YouTube. So sometimes I might see a comment or reply first to that comment, and Jess might not have seen it.
Yeah.
So there might be a few comments that I've never seen yet.
I forgot to tell you about.
That might have Jess have answered, and they might have asked you a destination, and you've answered.
Yeah.
And I've not seen it. But from when I've answered anything online, I don't remember anyone saying you should check out this country. Maybe a restaurant, maybe a beach, maybe a bar, or maybe a hotel or something like that. But on my side, I don't believe anyone's asked us.
Do you find at the end of trips, there's always somewhere you go and you think, oh, I wished I'd knew about this at the beginning?
Yeah.
Because that's always happens to us. We always find the most amazing places on the last day or the night before, or someone gives us a recommendation. So it's always an excuse to go back anyway.
Yeah, before we had kids, we went to Vegas every year. I love Las Vegas. I don't know if that's the place you guys have visited. What did you guys make of it?
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, we went
Las
twice,
Vegas.
didn't we?
Yeah, I can't remember much of either trip, to be totally honest.
Yeah. Me and you went 2015, and we liked it so much, we told my brother about it, and he came on board with us the next year, didn't he?
The problem is they give a lot of free alcohol out to the ladies, and I think if you're with your partner, then it's fine, but it's not good for me. I missed about 2 or 3 days.
I think we stayed in I think
never again.
We stayed in a Luxor, the pyramid shaped one, at the end of the strip or the beginning of the strip, which way you look at it. And there was a bar. What is it, an Excalibur?
It was a club in Excalibur, which is like the one next door. And it was just,
and there's a bar downstairs, and it was like I can't remember what celebration. It was a special night, and all women got like a wristband, and it had like 6 or 7 drinks.
They're trying to get the ladies in, basically, and it was just a disaster waiting to happen. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't clever. I missed the whole of the last day. The lads went to some amazing places, and I just slept. And he was fuming. I literally had sunglasses on because I've never, in fact, no, that's a lie. I was very drunk just about 5 or 6 days ago. Yeah, we don't get drunk very often, especially on camera, because otherwise it'd be an absolute disaster. But yeah, you're allowed to let your hair down every once in a while, but just not to that excess. Yeah. So I might leave Vegas unless it's a big celebration. I think the next one is your 40th, isn't it?
So, yeah, I'll say the next big birthday.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to do that again.
Is that your plan then, Wayne? Is it Vegas for your 40th?
Maybe. We've not really spoke about it yet. I mean, you're pushing to give me a surprise birthday party, but I'm not one for all that. You know, I don't like. Well, I don't mind surprises, but I don't like being centre of attention. I find it really awkward. But you're pushing me to have one, aren't you?
Yeah, he wants to surprise me with a trip, but it's bad because I need to know where I'm going. I'm a bit of a control freak when it comes to travel, especially with being disabled. So we're a recipe for disaster, basically, when it comes to surprises and Las Vegas.
We will go back, though. We'll definitely go back at some point. We loved it, didn't we?
Maybe when we're retired. We've got nothing going on. Nothing, no responsibilities, just our retirement ahead of us. But yeah, in a nutshell, we like Vegas and we don't like Vegas.
Yeah. Well, it's Sin City, don't they? Is that what
yeah. For a very good reason. For a very good reason as well. Did you do any gambling when you went?
Yeah, we done a little bit, but nothing major. You know, I think the most we put on there might be $5.
$5, if that. But we did learn a tip for anyone who's never been. Apologies for everyone watching. We're so poorly at the moment with the January cold that's going around. So apologise if we keep coughing. If you sit at one of the gambling machines, if you give the servers or the waitresses or the waiters a nice tip, they'll bring you alcohol. So that's another reason why I don't sit at gambling machines, because if I'm giving $5 for what they call a well drink with like vodka and lemonade, is pretty cheap for somewhere like Vegas. If you keep giving that in over and over again, half an hour comes by, you're absolutely slaughtered.
We didn't know that when we went, did we? So if you go to the bar in the casinos,
it's $25.
It's $25 for, say, a vodka and Coke or something like that. So I thought, well, we only got like $60-70 a day, so we won't be doing that. So we thought, I'll just put a couple of dollars in one of the machines. And a waitress come up and said, would you like a drink? So I said, oh, I can't, I haven't got $25 to drink. She was like, no, any drink you like, don't worry, just give me a little tip. So I was like, okay, so I'll go with $5. She bought me a drink. And then
every 5 minutes,
she came around 5 minutes later. Would you like another drink? So I gave another $5. And I thought, is she taking a shine to me? Why is she giving me drinks at $5 when there should be 25?
And then he sees me absolutely hammered.
And then I think there was an American next to me who put me straight and was like, no, if you tip them, they'll keep coming back, and it's cheaper for you as well. So
Wayne thought he was in there until he saw me staggering over to him like this. And then it wasn't till I think we had like a $10 rule, like just a few 25-cent machines. We were sat at the roulette table. I think we walked out with about $150. I'm like, should we go next door?
No, we know when to quit though. We quit when we was ahead.
Cruising is really bad, especially on the American cruises. I don't see him.
Yeah, I'm in there for a lot of time.
Yeah. Don't see him. But if we do bet anything, Wayne always does a really nice thing. Whatever he wins, he'll put it into an envelope for the server of our room, our room service tenant. So at least we know it's going back to someone good, not just back into the casino. We say
we'll have $30 each for the whole cruise. And once you've done that, that's it. So if I can try and double that, whatever I normally win, I normally do give it to our cabin attendant. I don't know.
Room service attendant. Yeah. It's just because otherwise we just end up putting it into another little envelope that says next cruise, and it just gets the wall. But yeah, gambling in Vegas is not for a while.
So can you let us in on a few trips that you have this year? Then can you tell us what you got planned, or are they closely guarded secrets?
No. Do you want me to?
Yeah, you're more. Yeah,
well, we got engaged in Paris 11 years ago, so that was in January. But we've got a lot going on this month with like family birthdays and things. All my family are born in January, so we're going to go in February to Paris overnight, and we've got a collaboration. We may do one day in Disneyland Paris.
That's just a 2-day break.
2-day break. Yeah. In April, we're on a cruise with Princess Cruises, which we booked about 2 years ago. It was meant to happen in April last year, but I sadly lost my stepmom to cancer, so we've moved it a year ahead.
And that's going to France and
Spain. And then I'm away for my sister's hen do. Then we've got a collaboration with Viva Cruises, which is a river cruise company, and Germany is always a place that I've always wanted to visit. I study history throughout school and college, so that is an amazing trip.
It's going all down the
Rhine,
yeah.
To some amazing places I've never even heard of, all very like Bavarian castles, and everywhere's got like a massive beer garden. I'm really excited about that.
It's a river cruise as well, so we've never done this before.
It's a lot smaller than what we're used to.
We're used to being on these like big ships, and now with like 3,000-4,000 people. But this little, well, it's not little. It's still big. What's it?
River cruise.
Is it's still got like
200 people.
So it's going to be very intimate and small. So we're looking forward to it.
I'm excited. It's all inclusive, so that's going to be a story to tell. And then we've got a 2-day trip once we disembark in Dusseldorf with Visit Dusseldorf, so that'll be really exciting. Oh God, they're sending us on some sort of alcoholic excursion. I don't know what that is yet, so that'll be something to look forward to. We're not alcoholics, I do promise you that. And then we've got my sister's wedding.
You're going to Glasgow, aren't you?
I'm going to Glasgow for a trip in June. And then our biggest one is our 10th wedding anniversary cruise with P&O Cruises that goes to Tenerife and then over the Atlantic, which I'm a bit nervous about, being just out at sea for like 5-6 days. I think it'll be amazing.
Yeah, that'd be good.
And then that's in the Caribbean for a week, which is all islands we've never visited as well. So I think there's Barbados, St. Lucia.
Yeah, I think we start off in Southampton and we end up in Barbados, don't we? And we fly back from Barbados.
Yeah.
And then just after Christmas, 27th, we might be flying back out to America
we don't know yet.
To volunteer at that winter camp again, but we're not sure about that at the moment. But
that's all Wayne's annual leave used. Yeah. So if there's any other trips, there'll be like mini 4-day trips on his days off, or seaside breaks. Yeah. And then maybe a lot of trips on my own, because I'm trying to bring out the blog. I'm classed as a travel writer now professionally, but they want to send me on a lot more trips on group work, press trips, kind of like journalism trips that like Jane does. That presenter, what's her name? Jane McDonald. So I'm going to feel like her and Judith Chalmers for yeah.
my shift patterns is 4 on, 4 off. So tomorrow's my last day at work, and then I've got a nice 4 days off. So I quite like that, because I know I'm always tired in those 4 days. It takes me a day or two to sort of come round to not being tired all the time, because I'm diabetic as well. So obviously I'm a little bit more tired than, say, the normal person after 4 days. But that 4 days, if we did want to go somewhere, I can go away for 3 days, couldn't we? And still have a day before going back to work. So I really like how that shift pattern works. So we can go away, can't we, for 4 days?
Yeah.
But nothing's planned just at the moment.
Yeah, so we're very, very lucky, and we're very excited. We're already in talks for 2025, but I can't look that far ahead yet.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah, I do sometimes think to myself, oh God, this could come across as bragging and stuff, but I've got to remember that we've worked really hard. I'm no different than any other travel journalist, and I need to start having a bit more respect for the work that we do. And Wayne works on the planes all the time, so we do work in that industry anyway.
I do get where some people come at me. When we was obviously when I lost my job and money was really tight, and if I kept watching people on YouTube going to these nice destinations, I can understand why people are like, oh, they're on holiday again, or they're on holiday again. What does he do for a living? What do they do for a living?
Yeah.
So I do understand, and I can see that it could get people's backs up. I admit that it probably could, but we're not all about that. We're not doing, oh, look at us, are we? We're just trying to show. Oh,
Trevor's
again.
back.
Yeah.
Hello, Trevor.
I wouldn't worry about the envy of other people. I think what you're doing is awesome, and you just reeled off about 12 different things, from short breaks to longer breaks, and I think it's just amazing that you're doing that. You're choosing to do that. You're working hard, and you're choosing to do something you love, and you're giving back to the people like Adam who watched your podcast, and that 100%. Helps to inform his decision on where he goes on holiday with the family.
100%. Like you said earlier, when you do your cooking, obviously I don't do my hair, or plait my hair or anything like that. But when I'm looking at, I do exactly the same as yourself. But if I want to try a new recipe, I'll jump on YouTube and I'll watch it and I'll follow it through, pause it as I'm going along. And any holiday that we do, I'll watch it on YouTube first to find the best places to go. Yeah. And this is where I came across you guys.
Thank you. We used to watch like YouTube all the time. I don't have time anymore, but often when Wayne finishes work, it gives me a chance to like just spend time with each other. But we also do like our own time, and you watch camping videos. What's the one you like watching?
I like watching. There's a
Kent Survival.
Kent Survival. He's an outdoors person that goes camping in woods and cooks stuff.
What are you watching that for? You don't like camping,
but it's really good. Yeah,
I'm obsessed with him now. He cooks like the most massive steaks on like a rock, and it's so aesthetically pleasing. And I'm like, why are you watching that? I'm like, now I know why you're watching that.
I don't take everyone's. So if I'm watching a video about a particular place that we're going to, and if this person is saying, "Oh, don't come here, it's not very good," blah blah blah, I won't go. "Oh, we can't go there." I want to still go myself and assess it for myself, because what doesn't work for them, it might work for us. So yeah. So when we go away, we will say, "Look, we didn't particularly like this, or we did like it, but when you come, don't take our word for it, because you might not like it, or So we just try and tell people our honest opinions, don't we?
Yeah.
Like we was at where was we? We was at Orlando Sea Life Centre. We were kindly gifted tickets to go and visit there a few days ago, and it was really good. They had loads of animals, sea creatures and all that that I've never seen before.
Oh, it was amazing.
But the price
was quite a bit
steep. A bit steep. It was like $38, I think, for and it only lasted about 45 minutes. So we suggested that go, but just be prepared that if you've got a family going,
it's a lot of money.
With tax, you're looking at just under $200. So maybe think about that before going. Look for any discount codes or beforehand, because we recommend going, don't we?
Yeah, I'll feed that back to the tourism board as well. And it's no different than going to London and like going on the London Eye and then to Madame Tussauds. You can get a really good discount. Yeah. So there's a lot to do in that area. So we always try, and the only thing I'll feed back to you about Iona is you need to try out the Prime Minister burger.
Yes.
In the restaurant
Keel and Cow.
My stepdad said the same. Wayne said the same. Do not order a starter and a dessert. You won't need to. It's going to be the best burger you've ever eaten.
I think they've called it the best burger at sea.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Yeah. I didn't have much of it, but Wayne was sat there like dying afterwards. But that's the only recommendation I'm going to give you. You can take whatever you want from the videos, but I think you'll have an amazing time.
I've written that one down. I won't miss out on that. So we're round about the hour mark. That's when we tend to wrap these things up. Dave, you got any final thoughts for us?
I think it's just, I think it's really, really, really good what you do. And you're so clearly so passionate about it. And what I also love, I love the way Wayne, you just do your bit.
Yeah.
And let Jessica handle it. And that's what you want to do. You're happy with it. It works. Yep. You go do that. Brilliant. But Jessica, I love the way that you're passionate about it. And you want to develop yourself, and you're doing extra courses and learning and upskilling, and you're going for it. So it absolutely is going to be a proper career for you. I can just tell, because your personality, the way you come across, your determination to do that sort of stuff. And when you've got, Trevor and Wayne there supporting.
This is unusual. This is not like him at all. Usually he's attacking me. But yeah, I think going to university and bettering myself, because I had an amazing career in the NHS, and now I've got this really rare autoimmune condition, and not many people know I've recently gone blind and deaf on my left side due to a stroke that I had in October. It's kind of given me that kick that I needed on top of everything else to actually take a step back, because I found I was going heads on with everything. There's nothing wrong in taking a step back. So that's why I've stopped doing 3 videos and just doing 2. And then once I finish uni, I'll go back to 3 videos a week. I need to have that break. And we have had a few questions like, why is this video still only going up a year later? It's because I need to do what's right for me. Otherwise, there'll be nothing.
At the end of the day, health comes first.
Yeah, but I really respect that you've said that. Thank you so much. I've not heard that from anyone yet. So to hear that from someone, that really means a lot. It makes me realize what I'm doing is good. So thank you for saying that.
I also think people only see our holidays and they see the highs. They don't see the lows. So when they watch us, they see us all happy, jolly on holiday, eating at, you know, restaurants and, you know, by the beach on cruises, but they don't see the
6-hour naps I'm taking in the daytime.
They don't see what we're like at home when you're particularly not feeling very well and that. So when they go, well, where's this video? It's been 2 weeks and you're not, well, you know, this is real life. It's not all going to be
sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah, there's going to be days where Jess can't get out of bed some days, can't you, for you know, a day or two. So, but yeah, they, you know, there is 2 different sides, isn't there? There's our holiday side
and the real life.
Yeah, in real life. Yeah.
So thank you so much for having us, and thank you for those kind comments as well. And if you'd like us to pop back on in the future, maybe do a cue card system so I don't talk so much.
No. Listen, the less we have to talk, the better, and our listeners will agree with that. You know, I would echo everything that Dave said there. You know, I've watched a lot of your videos and I do think they're fantastic and they're very well put together. Now, you might say that they aren't professional or what have you, but I actually think they're very honest and they're very genuine, and there's a flow to them. They're thoughtful. And like you say, you talk about the cost of things, you share menus and things. And if you're planning a trip, you only have to watch that one video. I honestly, I can't tell you, you know, the work that you put into it is well worth it, because you get to see it, and it's been an absolute pleasure to have you guys on here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Because, you know, like I said, on the videos, you come across as very genuine, and you know, and I've seen that tonight. The 2 people I've been watching on those videos are the 2 people that are genuinely sat in front of me tonight. So thank you very much for sparing an hour of your time. And if you'd like to say goodbye to our listeners, then that would be great.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for everyone tuning in.
Thank you. Please listen to the podcast, because I can't wait to listen, because if it's going to be more better than this, then I'm pleased. I can't wait to listen to some of the more controversial topics that you talk about. Like the one you said about earlier, I'm going to listen to that one. What episode was it you told me to listen to?
No. Moving on.
If you get to the tallboyradio.com website, all the episodes are listed there. It's Room 101. It was in December. Adam Loves Cats was the subtitle, I think.
I do. Well, no, don't listen to that one.
That's fine. I'm not bothered at all. I will have a listen, and I'm sure it'll open my eyes up, because he's clawed a massive mark in my genes. So yeah, so not everyone loves cats.
There you go. Just proves me right.
Yeah.
Thank you for having us on.
Thank you so much, and Happy New Year to you both.
Indeed. So that just leaves it to me then to wrap it up and say thank you to our guests. Thank you to the listeners who've joined us. And we will catch you next week when we will be talking about something entirely different again.